That's funky. We got ourselves some tea. A little bit of oolong. Nij is already talking smack in the chat. Good to see it. Good to see it. Ah, good stuff. Drew is messaging me. Alright, so we figured we got a little bit of an idea of who the characters are. We might craft an opening scene, maybe play a little bit, but we also need to get a little bit more on their backgrounds. I feel like we touched a bit on backgrounds with our Batboy, but not so much with Rampart. So, let's pop on over to Obsidian, get this little googly guy. Is there a way to slow this down? It's so fast. Oh. Oh. What if we make him truly slow? Yeah. He's got nowhere to be today. He's just enjoying his time around, you know? Also, is chat not appearing on my screen? Is that messed up? Could be a screen problem. Yeah. Hey, Drew. What's up? No, it's appearing on screen. Okay. It was one of those things where you know how you mouse over the different elements in your OBS and it shows you like a little preview of where shit is going to be on the screen? Doesn't show that for chat. Chat's just kind of there. So chat's in the bottom right. That's fine by me. Oh, is it because I locked it? It's because I locked it. That's why. We're remembering how to stream. Also. So I figured I'd go a little bit over Adventure Crafter by Wordmill Games today, because that's probably what I'm going to use for the starting scene. We'll probably think a little bit more about who Rampart is, and maybe who Static Rebellion is, our Batboy. For sure, though, I did have one idea, and let's see if this works. Alright, yeah, bring up the thing. So this is what we got for Rampart and our picture for Static Rebellion. So... oh, that's hideous. Can we have a normal color? Just black and white, maybe? With the edge? Edge is... how do I turn... is it the secondary color, maybe? Nope, that's not what I wanted. That's the button I wanted to hit. Down here. Fuck off, really? Actually, let's go with like a green. Like a teal color, maybe. Okay, that did not keep. There we go. Stop it. So we got Rampart, we got Static Rebellion. We had two thoughts with this. Oh, we big gimping? Yeah, we're not free gimping on this one. We're using our Clip Studio Paint. So we had two ideas. We wanted him. Hello? There we go, thank you. It's always gonna be red, huh? You're always just gonna be red. We wanted him to be Vigilante. Also Impact? Does it have to be Impact? Where's Ariel? Ariel black, maybe a little something something there. That feel better? No, it's back to Impact. Is this set to default or something? 'Cause that's horrible. I don't want that. Does it feel like it's... It is, okay. Justified left, text direction left to right. Keep aspect ratio. I'll do like a size 14. We want him to be a vigilante. We don't want him to be associated with anything. He's on his own, and it makes more sense. He's got like the punk rock roots. He's gonna be more that type. Whereas Cad Bane, you can't start an episode with Cad Bane, dude. Come on. Plus, how could I reveal Cad Bane this early and not have Hannah here to enjoy her favorite character? You know what I mean? You gotta think, Mark. You gotta think. We're thinking we'll have Rampart be a foil of sorts. He's gonna be fuck me. Every single time, huh? Literally every single time. And it's gonna be italics. There's gonna have to. Okay. Part of some authority, or like a supers group. Like he's already gotten in, but that also means he's got his duties. We like this idea. There we go. So what do we know about static? Takes care of mother. What does that mean? I don't know. That's about what we know about the two so far. So I figured we'd go into a little bit of like Oracle rolling for some backgrounds or something like that. Technically you can use the Adventure Crafter for backgrounds. I've never used it as such, and I guess we could try that and see. That would be a first time for me. And for y'all as well, I'm sure. Let's pull that up and see. Now, I haven't been showing... oh yeah, I should log into my Foundry too. I think that's my password. Yeah. Get into my bash solo systemless. Bing bong, bing bong. Okay. Oh. Oh man, it feels weird switching between the different things and how you gotta right click to move around in Foundry, but you gotta hold in space to move around in Clip Studio Paint and all that shit. It's gonna confuse me, but that's fine. We'll be fine. It's all right. Static Rebellion. All right, all I really need is your photo, sir. Which it's gonna want me to put in the Foundry module. Whoo! The Pelvis Punisher? You tell me, sir. She on latrine duty? Switch over to Foundry for a second if it'll... Is it working? Yeah, it's working. Okay. So let me toss in my 2 newly made tokens. Freshly minted. To cut and Foundry VTT data images characters. Make a new folder. Supers. Get on in there. Alright. So those work. So for Static Rebellion, we go in here. We go to images, characters, supers. Really hoping, yeah, okay, there you go. Perfect. Create actor. Rampart. We should figure out what he looks like outside the mech, too. This mech is about, like, 17 feet tall? 17, 18 feet tall? Just toss him out here. So he should be, like, double the size. Pretty sure there's a way to do that. Grid spaces? Oh, that would be 2 by 2. Update. Now he big. Oh god, it's doing this thing again, huh? Here, I think. It's under appearance. No. You do it from here. Configure settings. It's in core. There, turn that off. Stop rotate. Do not. He's fucking okay. We can rotate him normally, I think. Woo, scuffed, dude. Alright, there's a button that, like, makes him rotate. Brother of Steel Fallout vibes? It's true. He kind of does. To me, he was given Ultramarine, which I'm like, you know what? That kind of fits the character, I think. Drew, how do I rotate this fucking thing? Never mind. Got him. Nailed it. Thanks, bud. No, I don't wanna measure. Take me off the measure. Alright. So we decided too on a name for the city. I don't remember if we said it or not. We're going for Triton City. Because it's where Baltimore would be if it was a bigger city and I guess nicer like this. So Triton City. Alright, let's get the Adventure Crafter out. So Adventure Crafter does quite a few things. Well, it's very good for giving you a outline for a campaign. So if you're making stuff for friends and you have an idea that you want if you don't have any idea of what you want to do, it'll give you quite a good skeleton to flesh out. That would probably make you think in ways that you most likely wouldn't. And I don't guess I'll show you guys the PDF for this. I think that's fine. I think we can just talk about it, and that's okay. So primarily, they list in the book some ways to use it. And adventure outlining is one. Adventure seeding is another. The opening scene, which is what we're attempting with. The as you go, which I've read the example on how to do this, but I feel like it's really... I don't think you could use it with Mythic if you do it that way. Or if you do, you have to make some changes. You can use it as needed, you can use it as a writing tool, or you can use it with Mythic, which when they suggest you do that, you sort of change how your random events have using the Mythic system. They give an example of how you can use it to build up a background for a character, and I don't remember if that is specifically in here or in one of the magazines. Oh, excuse me. But I will try my best to find that. See if we can't come up with a little backstory for one of our homies here. Also, might be cool to take a look at how the sheet looks. But I don't know an efficient way to get it out there. So I'm going to try this. It will be a little bit scuffed, but that's okay. Alright, so we got you. Copy that. Toss it on over here. Oh yeah, that looks fine. That looks fine. So the way this thing works, the Henya Boo Boo is real. Hey Rem. Drew, you gotta give you a roll, man, for when you're in here. You want to be a mod, or you want a sword or a diamond? Are you a king or are you a knight? You tell me. Well, maybe not a king. Maybe a duke. Not you. You. So this is what a page looks like for the adventure crafter, right? Normally what you do is you have your section here. Wait, you can see my I don't know if you can see my mouse actually, so I'll draw on it. Let's dump all these things together. All the text into one thing. All the pictures into one thing. And then we'll make a new layer on top so we can draw on it, do whatever. We don't want the turnip pen. How? That's kind of small. Okay, so up here, your themes. This is sort of how the adventure crafter decides what nested tables it's going to use and what themes it wants your adventure to focus on. You may be a king or a little street sweeper, but sooner or later you're dance with the reaper. Drew, I think for now we'll just give you the VIP. If I can remember how to do that. It won't let you? Yeah. I figured it was something that easy. Good old Outrun soundtrack. I want to to switch down to Midnight Sake Sessions. They've been on my brain lately, and I enjoy them. So it's a channel owner thing. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. I got him. Nah, dude, you got the Royal Diamond, dude. Anyway. So you have 5 themes. And what you do here is there's these numbers related to each theme. This weights D10 dice on the themes that you get. So 1 through 4 will be your highest rated one. 5 through 7, the next 8 to 9. First time you roll a 10, it's this one. Second time you roll a 10, it's this one. And they alternate back and forth towards the end so that they're sort of equally weighted, but you're more likely to get this one over this one because of the back and forth design of it. Pretty cool little design. The types of themes you can have for it. Yeah, it's very simple. Mythic, great about the designs on their simple sheets. Tana knows what's up. The types of themes you can have are on a different page because I had to screw around. Okay, here we go. So there's action, tension, mystery, social, and personal. Most of those are pretty self-explanatory. Tension leads a bit more of like if you're doing horror more so, tension's probably going to be your best one. Adventure elements designed to make characters nervous. Makes sense. Mystery, asking and raising questions, answering questions, investigations, etc. Social is interacting with people and other like social institutions. Personal theming is about, it says, drawing individual characters into the adventure personally, with their backgrounds and personal stories having direct connections with the plot lines set up for the adventure. Just as a quick, here we go on that. So whenever you're using this, you're starting off on a brand new plot line here. So technically you're clicking this button here. Because as you go, you develop plot points. And sometimes plot points will invoke specific characters, or if they don't invoke specific characters, they will show you how to make a new character to be invoked. No. We're trying to move like we're in Foundry again. And you sort of do this ad nauseum until you've concluded your plot, like on this bottom bit here. So if you were running an adventure or setting up like a campaign, you'd have a set of plot points here. And then eventually a more set plots here. And keep going until you get to like a definitive conclusion. Keep developing. Or start, secondary plots. So pretty easy to follow looking at that. Might not be so much so for those of you that haven't played solo. But if you ever got into it, you can trust me on that. It's not that bad. Since we're just using it for like a starting scene, all you really want to do is do one set of reveals of plot points. And using it for background, I don't know if there's any specific changes for that. If there is, I would have to read in like the relevant section, which I will do if we need that really quickly. Nope, these are just the sheets. They do give you like a master plotline list and a master character list like they do in Mythic with your threads and character lists. I don't really like messing with that necessarily. I think if we were rolling mostly to do background, you're kind of doing it the same way you're doing an opening scene. You're getting like a seed of an idea, and you're figuring out what happens. I mean, you could roll it all out if you prefer it. I just kind of would rather figure it out on the spot and then do that, which makes sense for the character. I don't want to be stuck down too much into that. Alright, opening scene as inspiration. I'm taking a gander through the big chapter of examples to see. I could swear there's a fucking sample that's like using it just to make a background generator. Here it is. King Chris, successful with these. Random themes. You can randomize your themes as well if you don't know what you want to do. And that's as simple as, since there's 5 themes, there's a D10. It's 1 and 2 is the top. 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, etc. Hello? Here we go. Roll up a couple of turning points. You can use the narrative this conjures up to be inspiration for important events in a character's history. Story of how a starship became lost in deep space, the historical background of Metropolis, or just about anything there where a story is involved. It's fair. Also, give me a sec. I didn't realize I had nasty boy glasses. I needed to clean the lenses. And looking at this stark white screen is really making me see some smudging. Fix these things with this microcloth, please. Give me vision. All right. At the end of the day, it's story generator. Stories come at us from all directions. Keep developing turning points until you have enough to give the inspiration for a cohesive narrative. Logic goes, you'll need from 1 to 3 turning points. And I believe turning points specifically means like your whole, like this thing. This thing is a turning point. So it's saying you might, if you're using it for background, you might do 2 of these, like this whole page, to figure out like a character's background. I'm curious if we rolled that up randomly, what we would get for Rampart. So we might work with that. Best part about the tabletop RPG is filling out the character sheet alone without all the annoying people you choose to spend time with. That's so true. That's so true, Alpha. Welcome, dude. So, in light of that, is that the right size? I think primarily for this, well, we'll roll it up. Just gonna roll a straight up D10. Y'all aren't gonna see it because I'm not switching to Foundry. It's a 2. So that means action, I believe, is the top theme for this boy. That makes so much sense. Next in line is hopefully not personal. A 5. 5 is mystery. He's a mystery boy? Okay. Why is it like that? Why does it look weird? Mystery. Alright. A 9? Ooh, a personal? Okay. Interesting. Not how I would have thought it would win. So it's either going to be tension or social. Tension's going to be 1 to 5. We'll just roll a d6. 1 to 3 tension. 4 to 6 is social. It is social. So tension, the least amount of things he has is tension. Perfect. So social. All right. So as an example, let's get started for Rampart background. I'm not going to mark any of the plotline stuff because I'm not really using this in a more official capacity. So let me find the big fucking table of tables. There we go. So we roll a regular d10 first. That gives us an 8. An 8 is a personal turning point. D100, 86 on personal. In his background, the promise of reward. Okay. We'll look more into that in a second. I kind of like rolling things up as I go and then actually kind of figuring out what the hell's going on. Lurk. No lurk tools, but thanks for letting me know. I'll send the ninjas out to stop you. So hit me with a regular D10 and a D100. So we got a 10, which is crazy, and a 3. So we got a tension point already. Okay. 03, tension, which is, I believe, anything 10 or under. Yeah, like 24 and under right now is like a nothing. So technically that's nothing. That's fine by me. This is built into the system. You are allowed to get nothing sometimes. The only time you don't take nothing is if you... I think you can get nothing 3 times. You have to have at least 2. We will count that as a tension. As a social roll, excuse me. I should have been social, not tension. So need to keep in mind we are on... not this one, but We're on tension this time. I was just gonna try to do a scratch mark, but my brain would forget. My brain would forget. It's true. Okay. D10. D100. We got a 9. And a 97. That's, I think, something special. A 9 is personal, again. 97 personal. Which is meta. Now this is something I've never rolled, so I need to figure out what meta means in this context. Because like I said, it's something special. Where the fuck are you? I went to the condensed table. I need to see the not condensed table so that I can figure out what this means. What does this mean? Meta. Plotline combo. Oh. I'm going to count this as a nothing because this is a special plot point category that kind of like it fucks with your overall plot points and your character list and combines things and has weird effects. Since we don't have any of that yet, we're just going to use that as a nothing, which is fine. Just means this particular turning point not all that twisted. Hello? Yes. Okay, take me back to the 10. Boom. Then a D100. So we got a 3 and a 3 and a 5. That's also a nothing. Of course it wouldn't do it till you have the camera on and start streaming. And then what do you get? Nothing. I am gonna double check though and see if a 3 and a 56, thank God, something. A 3 was what? It is personal. Nothing but personal stuff. Okay, 56. Wait. I know how to read. It's action. 56. No one told me. Victory. Hello? Move, motherfucker. No. Double checking the ruling on rolling a nothing. Every turning point must have no fewer than 2 plot points and no more than 5. Okay. If we're going purely based on this, this is legal. So we're looking at personal reward and victory. So something in the past that had to do with personal reward and victory. And what does that mean specifically here? 86 was personal reward. Let's move to that one. Or the promise of reward. This turning point involves a character faced with a substantial reward for their participation. For instance, maybe a village is willing to give a group of adventurers everything they have if they fight off a band of Moronin goblins. This reward should be for doing something that is considered legitimate or good. The character is invoked is going to be Rampart. Number one, we don't have any other characters in it. It's only one character involved. And victory definitely seems like he probably pulled it off. Whatever that happened to be. 56. Character achieves a victory over another character in this turning point. Oh. Well, now we have one way of twisting things about. Is the character Rampart victorious, or is the other character victorious? Maybe he loses here. Maybe that's a cause for drive. That could also lead him to having a rivalry, I think. And that could work out interestingly. Did we give him rivalry as part of his base here? No, we didn't, but I would certainly toss it on there. It was Static that had it. Okay. Mifu handshake. Let's switch to this one. Oh shit, the low income barony. Let me toss it in here as a fake question. Is Rampart the victorious character? We'll leave it at a 50-50. That's a 25. That's a yes. So Rampart beat someone else. Now, who is this someone else? Straight Savage. So they give you options in the Adventure Crafter to create characters on the fly. So that's what we'll do real quick. Character crafted. So first thing you roll on when character crafted is the character's special trait, because we don't have anybody else. I mean, I guess I could have the rivalry between him and Static Rebellion. That could be interesting, but I like the idea of there being possibly someone new. To determine character identity, roll D100 on the character identity table. If you roll 1 to 33 and get roll for 2 identities, roll again on the table and combine the results. You got it, champ. And where the hell's the identity table? Scripters. Finishing up. Ah, the character's special trait. So I'm rolling by hand this time. 14. Character's an individual. Makes sense. There was a possibility it could have been something else entirely, which could have really changed this a lot. So, what was this individual? Roll for 2 identities. Great. Okay. They were 99 and not 07. Roll again. 39. 99 and 39. Exotic ruler? Someone in a position of power. Exotic. Now what? This is like a special category. So I'm kind of curious if there is not a thing specific to exotic. Sometimes they have things that explain it a little bit better. I imagine they're doing a lot better explaining than I am, because I'm having a hard time talking and reading. Not something I'm good at. Maybe not. Maybe it's not in this chapter, maybe it's further on. I don't really want to dig around that much for it. Repair descriptors. What would exotic mean in this? It's not too loud, is it? This is some Persona vibe. This is Melty Blood right here. The song before was Sonic Mania. This is Arcoade's song. Had that Persona jazz? Yeah, it does. I really like some of the Sonic Mania music. I've tossed that onto my my playlist for that very reason. I like jazzier, like fusion music. It's part of my my dad arc. I'm into like Weather Channel music now. I go to the grocery stores and I start tapping my feet now when I hear that jazzy music start playing. I'm like, yes, it's for me. Exotic ruler. Well, let's keep rolling. While we're thinking, we need a descriptor. What do we know about this exotic ruler? 64. Old. It's an older fellow. Or woman. In fact, let's make that distinction now. Evens, it's a lady. Odds, it's a man. It's a man. We rolled a 7. So, older fellow. Maybe a CEO of a company. What adds to the exotic part of him? Maybe he was the first, Ooh, maybe he was the first Rampart. Maybe like Mecha Man is like a mantle that's passed down. Maybe Rampart's a mantle that's passed down to people that they find that are suitable, and they have to go through some kind of test. That's what my character was victorious at. The guy in Rampart, Jack Clayton. So that's the reason he got picked up. I like that. Let's toss that down in Obsidian for like a little bit of background. I guess I should make a section for it. I kind of don't want to mess up the character creation. Or actually, it shouldn't. It shouldn't be a problem. What we'll do is we'll toss it like down below the character creation. It'll be a 2- one, so background. Rampart is a mantle passed down. Generation. First. I see the first Rampart. I'll roll a d4. He's the second Rampart, so we're the third Rampart. The second Rampart was a CEO of retiring age. How did he meet Jack? I don't guess that matters a whole lot. We can flesh that out more as we go. But Jack was a candidate and passed the tests given, making him chosen. All right. My brain is not good at writing right now. That's fine. We just need to vomit the ideas on the page. We can make it pretty later. We'll get that guilty gear in here. All right. I feel like we need a little bit more than that. So we'll do like one more turning point on top of it. And I also feel like we should come up with a name for this guy. Hit me on over to fakenamegenerator.com. I am not naming his predecessor Tom Boner. Martin Bray. Oh, boo. Oh shit. Is Nage watching The Punisher right now? Rem, can you confirm for me if Nage is watching The Punisher right now? Alright, part 2. Turning points. Kind of want to keep the theming bits the same. Fuck out. Ooh. The Joyo Slanish song. Yeah, we want to keep the themes the same. Because I was really hoping the action stuff would come along. So at this point, he's got the inn. We don't know that he's got the armor or not. Doesn't matter. So this is all development within the... Okay, so we go up to the next one. We're going to do it by hand, just because I find it more fun than rolling in Foundry, believe it or not. Alright, action or something. Mystery. Okay. We got a mystery. We rolled a 13. I'm pretty sure that's a nothing. Pretty sure that's a nothing. I just wanna feel. Yeah, 13's a nothing. So you got a 25% chance of rolling a nothing. But I swear, I've almost never rolled nothing this many times in a row. That's actually impressive for me. Alright. We got a 6 and a 51. So 6 is, once again, mystery. But we actually got something this time. 06, mystery. SpongeBob's horse. 56 in mystery, that's the third column. A mystery solved? I don't know if I like that. We'll write it down. Because even though it is our second turning point, it could be related to another turning point. We'll see how it goes. So we got a 7, which is another mystery, which is great news. We got a 21, which is nothing. Pretty sure that's nothing. I'm gonna re-roll. I don't like to do that normally, but 34. I need you to give me something to work with. So 34 under mystery is... a resource disappears. Okay. We got a 5 and a 75. 5 5 is once again mystery. Mystery 75. An object of unknown use is found. And then 10. 37. We should be on tension, I believe. 37, tension. Something is getting away. Okay, we got a lot more to work with this time. Maybe I should have let that one be nothing. Alright, so the idea is typically you want to put these all on the page. These are all parts of the skeleton that you have to put the bones together to figure it out. So, let me see, of these, which ones actually needs for me to flesh them out. So number 6 in mystery. Is mystery solved? Wait, number 6. That can't be right. That was what I rolled for mystery. Dumbass. It's probably like 26 or 36. There's an easy way to figure this out. Mystery solved. Alright. Ain't no way. No. No. Oh, good song. It was 56, not 06. So 56. A mystery solved. This can be a large unanswered question in the adventure or something minor. But it is not a plotline resolved unless this turning point is also a plotline conclusion. A mystery solved could be any number of things, from finally figuring out what a device does to locating the missing Chancellor. Okay. I'm thinking of clipping these and tossing them aside. Make it easier for me to read all this together. Then we have a resource disappears 34. An important object or resource is stolen by an unknown thief. The resource should be something either useful to a character or it should pertain to the plotline in question. That does mean we've invoked a character here, which is fine. Then we got an object of unknown use is found. 75. I'm guessing that is probably what was stolen. A character finds something that they think is useful, but they do not know in what way. This may be a magic wand that they don't know how to use, a key that they don't know, a lock to a device with an unknown purpose, but currently has no power. Okay. Something is getting away. 37. This turning point involves a time limit where at the end of it something will get away. For instance, a ship carrying a magic artifact is about to leave the dock and a character has to fight their way through a pack of armed goons to board the ship before it sets sail. Not huge for me as a background, but would have been cool if it was an actual starting scene. So you can sort of see how this would work for starting a scene for something. You would know that in your opener that a rare resource is discovered. You would have to figure out who by, most likely your character or someone your character knows. That resource disappears. And you have a limited time to get to the thing to find it and solve the mystery. But sometimes you get stuff in this that will not necessarily like conflict, but might not make sense. And I think it's okay to drop stuff like that. So the mystery solved idea could be dropped, or alternatively, the object of unknown use is figured out what it's used for. And it's hard for me not to think about and compare Rampart to Mecha Man from Dispatch, so we might just wholesale steal some stuff. Maybe the element is like a form of like meteorite or like a crystal, like an otherworldly crystal that they use to power the mech. Maybe he didn't know what it was. I think it's more likely that Bray found the crystal, this power source. We'll have to kind of think of a name for it. And it would make sense that someone would want to steal it. So what kind of CEO would Bray be? Probably a technology CEO. I mean, that just tracks. You would do robotics or something like that. Or electronics, you know, something of that nature. Yeah. Maybe a contact of his found this particular mineral or crystal. I'm kind of liking that. That's kind of forming together into something. Why spooky stuff on screen? Did I sleep all the way to Halloween? He's streaming Punisher, blame Tribs. Okay, no, that's fine. You're good. Did I sleep all the way to Halloween? How's your teeth, Ty? How you feeling? You didn't sleep too then. These are my buddies. These hang out with me when I'm on the Obsidian. I also have the Delta Green, the agent. He could be here at any moment, so be careful. Undertaker versus Stone Cold. She's busy thinking about how Stone Cold almost made Undertaker laugh and break character. And how funny that was. Is this E3 Odyssey? Is that what I'm listening to? It is. Forgot how much I like that. It's got good soundtrack to it. All right. So, let's write this down in the logbook. Somehow, Bray came across, we'll just say crystal, an otherworldly crystal with promising properties to help power the next gen suit. So that's the object of unknown uses found. We can use the yes-no oracle to actually help resolve some of these things as well, and I probably will. Sometimes I like to come up with it off the dome. But sometimes it's better just to let fate be its own thing and let the dice tell the story a little bit. So, I think it's fine that we've started a little heavy-handed with how it's going right now, but I think it makes sense to me that that's the resource that disappears. Someone within the company was likely a spy, if not a worm tongue, some kind of character that ends up taking it. Perhaps they're a supervillain as well. That could be interesting. Resource disappears. The mystery solved, I think, makes sense that we figure out how to use the crystal. And I think the idea of something is getting away is there was a altercation with coming into contact with the individual that took this thing, maybe like a chase, like some kind of cool like highway chase or something like that. Boats are on the brain because of how it was described as like a ship carrying a magic artifact. And I'm like, I mean, that actually could make sense because Triton City is like a port city on the East Coast. We'll put, are we on the right thing? A thief within the company. Planted in the company. Wind of this rarity. Stole it. The process of fleeing. Part was able to get it back. Being shipped out. Let's find out this answer here, because I feel like this is interesting. And we'll actually switch to the foundry for this. Did the thief have superpowers? We'll leave it 50-50. We don't know. No. So this was a regular dude. Which means it wouldn't have been too hard for him to take it. Except, you know, for the idea of not destroying too much public property. Because Rampart is pretty fucking big. I think that means that he was a plant from someone else that did have superpowers. Who that is, I don't know. We'll figure it out. Was it minimal damage? It was not minimal damage. Okay. Sucks to be you. So to get back from being shipped out, though causing a bit more damage. Than anticipated. So this was like his first mission. They later found the material was in fact good for powering the suit. Is there anything else I'd want to add to that? That throws in a kind of mentor character that we didn't really take as an advantage or disadvantage. I'm kind of okay with that in this case. It just means they won't have the benefits that the others did so much. Here's a good question. I spaced out. What am I busy? You're busy thinking about wrestling. It's okay to space out. How are you feeling today, by the way? You feeling okay? Did Clayton begin working under Bray? I think that is more than an unsure. I think that is probably like a likely to very likely. Oh yeah. Okay, so he works, or at least worked under Bray in his particular thing. That would also explain where he learned to repair. I don't believe he's got the money Bray has, because he doesn't own the company or anything. He just is... well, Bray's still alive, for one. I wonder how I would handle that in system, actually. That's interesting distinction. I don't think I can... I don't think I gotta worry about that right now. We would have to give it to him as an advantage, I think. Like wealthy or something. Alright, so we know we want him to be a part of an authority or something. So it makes sense that the previous Rampart, Bray, would be... Martin D. Bray would have been either a part of a... well, I guess we'll ask the question this way. Was the original Rampart part of a privatized security group? Supers group. I think that's likely. Exceptional yes. So an exceptional yes means yes, but more so than you imagine it. So maybe not only was he part of, maybe he was the owner of that group. Which makes that very interesting as well. So that puts him in a leadership role that he's going to have some like big shoes to fill. I think I slept weird on time for meds. I think I slept weird on like my cheek or something. Hurts a bit more than the last few days. But otherwise doing okay. Good. That's good. Harder brew. Medicine taken. Fiend destroyed. I really should make a BRB, like, I got this one, right? But I really should make one that's like a Dark Soulsy one. Like the You Died one, like, but with like a bathroom message. Like piss taken. But I feel like it would need to play like the sound. Okay, so we need to note that down. Martin Bray was part of a privatized Supers security group. Was leader or privatized super security group. Oh, we need a name for his group too. What would be a good name for a super group? I feel like they would have like a theme going because he's Rampart, and we wanted him to have like this feeling like a castle, like a siege of like protection. Maybe they went like a medieval, like sort of military nomenclature. Maybe. We could go other routes with it though. I mean, we could go really boring and go TCS, like Triton City Security, or like... That's like the most boring way to answer it. It's just name it after the city. Well, we'll note down that we need to come up with a name for that. Figure out a name. Name for them. I think that's something we can work with. Did we decide on an age for this chap? I don't think we did. I don't think he's like 20. I think he's probably like early 30s. Or late 20s at most. Let's ask the question. Oh, get back up there. Is Clayton younger than 30? We'll leave it at unsure because I don't know. Oh, wait. Don't hit me with an exceptional yes. He's a teenager? Oh god, he's like, he's so young. In my mind, I had him, okay, if he's under 30, he's like 28, 27. So he's like 21. Okay, he's way younger than I expected. Maybe that's what impressed the old guy. He's someone who had the skills and talents that took him a lifetime to cultivate, and he's trying to pass that on. I think that could be fun for a character. Yeah. Yes. Cool. That really changes my image of him. Man, he changed so much from that answer. That really fucked with me. All right. I think we can hold off on the history lesson past that. I think we can worry about that later. So let's figure out, number one, who we're playing. Oh, I guess another thing I'd want to figure out, Static Rebellion. I've been having trouble figuring out what kind of job he's having. And I think the answer to that is he has to change jobs a lot. Pierce is his name. Is Pierce frequently between jobs due to his vigilantism? I think that's very likely. Yes. Okay. Does he currently have one? No, exceptional no. What does that mean? Okay, so we don't have a job. Not only do we not have a job, we're desperate for a job. We got bills due. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. You are the ocean's gray waves. I don't know why I said it like that. It is funny that Lacrimosa of Dana started playing after that. Oh shit, I gotta skip to this one. Evil Wizard rap battle. Sorry, we gotta crank it up a little bit. We'll turn it down in a minute.
Hyped up for the battle to come. Their minions raised banners of blood.
Do I have Oda on mine? I don't remember.
Guttural orders and brazen horns blared in response. Ghoul captains.
I don't remember what I have on my 7 TV, to be honest.
Skeleton foot soldiers marching in time. But the battle between the dread sorcerer Nefarious Hexnificus and the shadow necromancer known as Abyss would not be determined by armies. Every wizard knows the ancient rite that such a meeting demands. Wizard? You ain't no wizard. You ain't even an apprentice. You ain't got no tomes. Ain't got no orb. Ain't got no dark library. Ain't even got no staff. Fuck out of here, wizard. In my dark tower, turning bitches into drowners. I'm a fiend, a dark sorcerer with vast untold power. Opening my grimoire makes
Wales. Yes, master, yes. All right. So it looks like today is more of a 0.5 than an actual starter, but let's look at starting a scene and figure out who we're going to play. I figured I'd want to look at Static Rebellion's like job situation, because that might change how he plays and how that looks. So let's keep it fair and random. 1 to 3 we'll go with Static. 4 to 6 we'll go with Rampart. 3, we're starting with Static. Alright, we're starting in the poor part of town, I guess. Interesting. So, you have a couple of options when you want to set up a starting scene, right? And I guess I should turn it down if I'm going to actually talk about shit. X Money Power, dude. Alright. So, typically, if you're randomizing how your scene starts, you need to have an idea of who your character is and what they do and what their normal day-to-day would look like, right? So the easiest ways, if you're just throwing yourself out there to the wolves to see what it is to use the mythic where the hell are they? Actions. So you get something like neglect, business. Okay. So what would that mean for him? Judging based on his how do I get out of here? Get out of here, Rampart. We're playing this guy. For the moment. So, neglect business. What does that mean? Neglecting of business. That could be a couple of things. Well, that could be a lot of things, really, but what comes to mind is not paying bills. That's straight up. Oh, interesting. Maybe this is like a loan shark situation. Okay. Huh. Okay. Let's find out. Did his mother have to borrow from a loan shark? I'll leave it at 50-50 because I'm not sure that's exactly right. No, she didn't borrow from a loan shark. Then what did she borrow from? Is one avenue of thinking. I think it's more likely that she borrowed maybe from like a maybe not a criminal. But I feel like if that's just mincing words. Because if you're borrowing from like a mob boss, you're still kind of borrowing from a loan shark because somebody's going to break your legs. and make sure you pay on time. One's just more official and legal, technically, I guess, in some sense of the word. Do we want to backtrack on that and keep it going? Because that line of thinking is interesting, but that kind of leads me down like a vengeance route for him and makes him kind of an anti-hero. Which I'm okay with, but that will change some of his interactions, I guess. Alright, what do we know about him so far? Let me look back at what we got. Let me close up Rampart, because I'm not looking at Rampart. We're looking at Static. We know he's got contacts. We know he's versatile. We know he has a heroic rivalry. And he takes care of his mother, who has a disability. Oh, and I think we chose him to be like 26? If not, I'll make that canon now, just to make things simple. Rampart is 21. 21? Jack is young. God, that's still blowing my mind that I got that fucking curveball. I am gonna go run to the bathroom. I'm gonna be a big pee boy. Don't tell anyone. I'll cut you. Be right back. Alright, I'm back. Hopefully you didn't tell anyone. I don't want to have to cut you. Alright. Take off the BRB. Get out of the Earthbound music. Stop it. Stop it. Get a little superhero music going for my brain. Put me in the right place. Alright, so going back to what I was saying, one of the easiest ways to start is to just throw some stuff at the wall and see what sticks. So, like in this case, we rolled the action, meaning neglect and business. First thing my brain thought of was someone got a loan and needs to pay it back, but they can't. So debt collectors are coming collecting, and they're taking advantage of this person, right? In this case, I think it makes sense that we would make it personal, make it his mother, or at the very least, like maybe his mother helped another family member pay off this, and they're treating it like a inherited debt of sorts. Not paid off, but like helped to pay some of it off. I like that idea. That's interesting. We could work with that. If you don't like it, toss it aside. Try roll up a new pair, right? So say we don't like that. Boom, new pair. Transform. Cooperation. Now that is even harder to think of something for. You could go very literally with this. As in, he sees a metamorph. So like another super, whether it's villain or hero, we can suss out in a bit. That's the type to transform, right? They could be like, you know, a lycanthrope. They could be, they could grow, they could shrink, you know, whatever. Doesn't matter. And cooperation sounds like a team up to me. So like he would be helping them for whatever reason. So we know from this little facet that something's going on. If we wanted to help them, we would start asking questions about what's going on and filling in the details, filling in the holes. So you're kind of building the bridge, the stairs, as you go up the staircase, right? To figure this out. That's a lot of what solo is going to be. You can always roll more, right? Because these are like the open-ended questions, the things that they give you, like words and things. Like, for instance, you know, what's the personality like of the person that we're trying to help? Deceptive and calm. So perhaps they trick us into helping them. Right? You could roll for their identity. This person that is a metamorph. They're a controller. And adventurous. That makes sense. They're manipulative. They're bold about things they do and actions that they take. So it sounds like you would be getting tricked with the wrong crowd, and your cooperation with them would lead you into trouble, right? That works for me. That could be an interesting starter scene. We need to flesh out a bit more of why it happened or what's been going on. I like the idea of the first one more, though, of the two. But you can also use the adventure crafter, like I did with the background generator, to just roll one set of the 5, one turning point, to figure out what's going on, and do that as well. That's what I did for my, you know, off-screen solo with Nightmare. I think I rolled like there was a calamity. The calamity gets worse, and for whatever reason it stops. And there was something else, another turning point. All of that came about for me to be an arson that essentially was caused by demons. Not the demons specifically, but by people summoning the demons in the suburbs of the city, on the outskirts. There's more to it than that, because I'm finding out that that it's led to like a jailbreak that the DICE has said it's caused a big enough distraction to get a supervillain out of a jail. Don't know who that is yet. We'll find out when I play. Or maybe we will find it out here, because, maybe it's nothing to do with Nightmare. Maybe it has something to do with this side of town. What I want to do here... I wonder if I could hybridize the approach. I don't see why I couldn't, actually. If you have Foundry and you want to do solo, this is like a pretty ingenious set of tools. These are all the tables and tools, I believe, collected from Mythic GME 2, 2nd edition, rather. And it's one of my favorites. It's very good. I think we will do a quick... The movie Blue Ballad? The movie Blue Balled Me, but it was good? Okay. Okay. You talking about the Punisher thing? I think what we'll do is we'll keep hold of this idea of like the loan shark. We'll toss that because I think we will take it. And we'll add some complexity with the Adventure Crafter. I won't write all of it down like before. I'm just gonna, type it out a bit on Obsidian, I think. We'll use the scene log for it. Adventure Crafter. I think 1 to 5 would be action. Yeah? Okay. Berry Delight. 1 to 4 is what it's supposed to be. 1 to 4 is action. I want... Do I want social next or personal or what? This is a hard one to choose for me. I think tension being the least is probably good. You know what? Maybe as it stands, the way I have it set up for this one is fine. So we'll just use that. We'll toss it on over here. 5 to 7 is mystery. 8 to 9 is personal. 10. And then 10. Social. Tension. Alright. So we'll do a quick roll here of not a D8. Fuck off. What in the hell? Okay, D10 and D100. We got an 8. And we got a 59. 8 is personal. So 59 personal. Keep in mind the context of Loan Shark thugs being sent out in a way that we don't like to hurt people that we love. Ooh, Killer Instinct. Such a good one. Alright, what was it? 59. Personal is the last slot. It's 54. That's too far. Help is offered for a price. Offered for a price. A character offers to help another character in exchange for something. What's being asked for could be anything from mutual aid to a fee. Whatever the price, it should be steep enough to be of real significance to the paying character. Ugh. Alright, who's the character offering? We'll do a quick fake question. Is Static the one offering help? Exceptional, yes. Okay. Okay. So Static offering help. We don't know anything else about it yet. That's fine. Second plot point. Donk. We got 3, and we got 97. I believe that's meta. So that's going to end up being a nothing for me. At least since it's like a starting thing. I don't think it's worth fucking around with. Right? 97. Meta. Yeah, anything 96 and above is meta. Okay. So that's nothing. Then we got a nothing. Happy to see a nothing for once. Alright, roll and a roll. We got an 8. And a 64. 8 is personal. I don't know why with this setup we're getting a shit ton of personal stuff. No action. 64 on the personal side is it's all about you. Whatever the main action of this turning point is focused primarily on one character. It's all about you. Good enough for me right now. Show me the D10. A 10? Ain't no way. 60. So this is our first 10, which means it is social 10 and a 60 social. A character is involved in this turning point who offers to save the day. Save you. Interesting. Come on, give me at least one action roll. Thank you. I'm not taking a 0-2. A 0-2 is a nothing. I can't believe it. Okay, 58 on an action roll. Taking chances. A character acts in a very risky way. For instance, a character may suddenly show no regard for their life as they walk across a narrow beam above a valley to save a friend. Or the villain you are fighting takes a drug that makes him go into a battle frenzy where he loses all caution. Taking chances. Alright. Okay. I think this just reinforces the idea that it's about low-level thugs. And I think we should start in media res. Is it in media res or is it EN? Actually, I don't remember. Let me look it up. That's going to bother me. In media res? It's Ian. Okay. Oh shit. Go home and be a family man. Let me see if the basic bash book has stats for like thugs. Just regular old thugs. Bruisers. That sounds about right. So there's 7-point characters, which is going to be really funny for me. We're going to use gang rules. We're going to do the full amount that we can fight, which means we'll be fighting, I believe the max with gang rules is 6. Because otherwise, you'll have a really bad time. Plus, gang rules actually works out a little bit easier for me. So homie's going to be in the middle of a fight when we start. I don't think we're going to actually play that scene out tonight because it's going to take a long time. Not a long time, but it'll take more time than I'm willing to stream tonight. But that does mean next stream we'll all be playing. I knew today probably would be mostly prep because, number one, I wanted to cover like Adventure Crafter and actually use it and re-familiarize myself with it because I actually do like using it. It's a little bit harder to use when you're on camera and you have to think quickly, but I imagine you get better at that the better you get at improving as a GM. So what do we know? Let's write down what we know. Static, we'll call him Pierce. Is surrounded by 6 thugs, 4 who are looking for payment. I suppose we could technically talk out of it, but... Oh, that is something I don't know if we looked into. We didn't think of a personality for this boy yet. Interesting. Where would I put personality? After powers, maybe? Personality. I see him as stubborn. Maybe hot-headed. We'll come back on that maybe. Let's roll a random trait. See if we can't work it in there. Personality. Oh, that's right, it's going to roll 2. Wary makes sense. Ambitious makes sense. Okay. Stubborn, hot-headed, wary, ambitious. That tells us a lot about the character already. Okay. Just thinking for a sec. Ooh, maybe the one that offers help is his rival. That could be interesting too. We'll have to think about that. He's also got contacts. That means we need to set up somebody on the police force, I think, that he would know and work with. Ty's dancing. Actually, I wanted to test something too. If I can fucking find it. Where are you? Or did it already... Ain't no way it already played. It already played? No, I skipped it. I'm stupid. We're gonna go back to it. Yeah. Mostly I want to see if this gets muted. I don't think it will, but you never know. You never know what they'll end up muting. But this song rips. Am I forgetting anything else that I need to know for this? We got a personality that'll help me make decisions for the character. We know a little bit about what's going on. Oh, that's juicy. The loan was because of the desperation, because she knew he could not pay his bills. So his mother took a loan out to help pay for his living. Oh, I'm getting mad for him, dude. And they're trying to take advantage of that. Taking it out on his behalf. Cover expenses while he's out of work. Oh, man. Yeah, that's gonna be fun when we start it up. What sort of place are we fighting? Or not fighting, talking, air quotes. Give me some descriptors. It's a busy place. Okay, that's unfortunate. Small, busy. Small and busy. My immediate thought is they took him, or they surround him in like in a small business, but it could also be the alleyway of a busy street. So what we're going to use here is a third option that I like using, which is called Triple O. It's by Cesar Capacle. Capacle? I actually don't know how to say his last name. But the idea is, and I'll write this in Obsidian just to make it easier. So Triple O is, you have 3 O's. You have the obvious, the option, and the odd. On the obvious, you roll a 4 to 6 to get the obvious. It'll be easier if I do it this way. So the odds on a 1. The option is on 2 to 3. And on 4 to 6 is the obvious. That way the dice are weighted more towards the obvious and the option. And occasionally you'll get the odd, right? Typically you would use this for character decisions if you're not playing that character, right? So using it back on what we're thinking for Static, we know he's wary, we know he's ambitious, we know he's stubborn, we know he's hot-headed, right? So I could roll this if I wasn't playing him, or even if I am playing him, sort of like with the Pendragon traits of, like, you know, chaste versus lustful, you know, those kind of things, to figure out what he's going to do. But you figure out what the most obvious thing the character is going to do. The most obvious thing he might do to these thugs would be to bash them. Just to absolutely deck them. Haymaker, right? So that would be 4 to 6. He haymakers him. Option would be he runs and then turns on and fights them, right? So he pulls them away from the crowd so that he can easily take them out without any prying eyes, right? And then odd would be sort of something that's still in character for him, but would be very, very unusual for him to do. So in this case, I would say the odd would be he pays them, or he goes with them, or whatever they're looking for, right? So you roll that d6, and I'm rolling one just for a test here. We got a 3. He books it. Now, then you would play out whether they run after him or what they're doing. So they turn the corner, his fist in one of their faces, right? It works really good for weighting things, right? And if you have something that you think is more likely, you can roll 2d6 and, in Caesar's own words, take the one that you like the best. If you roll something that is like doubles, so if I rolled 1 twice, which was him paying them back or doing, you know, this weird thing, that trait would become a more prominent trait for the character. We've learned about the character now. He's not... Maybe he's practical, right? Or maybe he's... I can't think of the right word. Like, he's not quick to blows, right? Maybe he tries something first before violence, right? He wants to talk it out. Like that kind of character. Which is interesting, because then that becomes a bigger part of the character, and then you learn more about the characters as you play them. I really like that as a system. You can also use it in this case where there's 3 likely options of where it might be. You know, so we know it's a small business. So we had the idea of the obvious would be the most expected thing that you would think of here. Hit him so hard that... I mean, he could. He could. He's all about the kinetic energy, after all. I was thinking about that as like, ooh, if I hit this thug who has like 20 hit points to my 100 with my kinetic bat impact like attack, I'm pretty sure I could smash him through a wall. I don't think they'd want to fight too much after that. But then he's a killer, and I don't want to make him into, like... He's not a monster, right? At least not in my mind yet. He might develop that way, and if he does, great. But I'm starting him off more blank slate than that. Because I'd like there to be a chance for him to be more heroic and overcome... I'm almost looking at him like with the dispatch crew, right? They have powers that sort of are seen to have proclivity for, like, villainous nature, right? Because he's got abilities that can cause explosions and shit like that. You know, that's terrorism, right? but it's in how you use it, right? And I want him to feel that a little bit, and I want to sort of explore that with the character, of whether he's a villain or an anti-hero or a hero. If he becomes a villain, I'll probably stop playing him and start using him as the villain in other characters' stuff. But I like the idea of him trying at first. You know, he's trying to get better, in spite of what is going on with society. What if he becomes a villain? He's Homelander? Isn't Homelander like Superman levels of powerful? He won't be Homelander, he'll be Home Runner. Because he'll be decapitating people with a baseball bat. Sending them flying. But like the strongest in his universe? Okay, yeah. I haven't made anyone like that yet. All my characters have been a 30 point plus. 40 points is when you're getting into like international hero status. And then once I think you get to like 50 or 60, you're like cosmic. And I'm not too interested in playing in the cosmic scale of things because I don't want to deal with that. I'm always much more interested in like city level stuff. I want to play as people that protect their neighborhoods, their cities, you know. Eventually, maybe be big enough to go out and, you know, do something Avengers level where you fight against greater threats. But I guess if you look into, like, Avengers as a group, they can also fight cosmic level. On some level. Like, you know, if you're talking, like, Endgame and Thanos and stuff like that. Also, let's see. Oh, back to the Triple O explanation. So we would be using it to figure out the most obvious locations that this would happen. So it's got you can do a lot of lateral thinking with how you use it, right? What would be the obvious option here? Where would they obviously run into him at? You know what? The obvious option? Oh. Getting groceries. I can see him like Saitama coming back. Hands full of food. Having to deal with problems. They just run into him there. Option. Also, grocery stores are busy places. Option is... side alley of a busy street. Busy walkway. Might be a better way to put it. And where would a weird place that he would be? Something of an in-between city and, like, continental. Okay, so he's not, like... He's basically Avenger level, then. Is what I'm understanding. Like, he'd be on par with, like, an Iron Man. Maybe a Hulk. Just with different abilities. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun. Uh-oh. The music page is frozen and I can't see the list of songs. No! Alright, I gotta reload. Hold, chat. Hold. Okay, it reloaded the song. I didn't want it to replay the song. That's okay. Instead, I'm gonna play something else. I'm gonna play Battle 2. Yeah. You know, I heard this song when I was like coming up with the character, the superhero that's helping my own Nightmare character in off-screen solo, and I was like, this is totally the fucking song that would play when this character's on screen and doing his shit. This like funky groove as he whoops ass. That guy is this. I rolled randomly for like a power suite, and he got light-based powers and artifacts. And then I rolled randomly, and I got energy blast, laser, energy barrier, and then super speed, which I paired with super running. And then he got an artifact sword that raises his agility and brawn to 3. He gets a deflect, and this is a trademark weapon, so he's better with it. But the weapon can be taken from him. If he loses it, he goes back to like Weenie Boy brawn levels. But that's how I came up with Showtime, who is like, I think I got his picture somewhere on here. I did like an AI gen to figure out what he might look like. Because my brain, when I thought a light-based power dude with a sword, is probably a magician by trade, like a casino magician or something. And then I ran with that, and I actually really liked the character. I hate that I randomly rolled up a character, and then I'm like, damn, he's actually kind of sick. And he's also getting me in trouble right now with demons, because he's confident, so his ass is going straight into battle instead of waiting. But of course he's confident about it. He's ridiculously fast. He's so fast. I don't think you understand how fast this man is. I think his top speed is like 250 miles per hour. He's fast. For the game, that's one of the fastest you can be. So we really pumped that dude up. Where's the image for him? I know I had one. Did I not save it? Oh no! Oh no, I did. It's in the. It's in the other one. It's in here. Nope. Nope. Learn to read. Those are to the other boys. Well, I got a quick way to do it real quick. I'll just find the original image off the website. Rem told me she thought he looked like Constantine. I'm like, you know what? That's fair. He does give me like some sort of Constantine vibes. There we go. He does. It's the coat. There you go. That's him. That's Showtime. I imagine the sword being almost like a cane sword or something. Like he's got some amazing shit. I actually like how that looks quite a lot as a character. Like the gold and the purple together with the black pants and black gloves. Very cool. Up until I made that picture, I hated the character. I saw like all this stuff on paper, and then the picture came out, and I'm like, ah, man, he's kind of cool. Shit. I can't hate him now. He's kind of sick. If he cared about appearances, yeah. But yeah, he gets like 3 attacks per round instead of 1. He's nasty. He can create like solid energy light shields He can make a weapon out of it as well, if he wanted to. He can blast quite far with his energy. I like to think he does some stuff like that for his stage work. You know, he's like his own laser light show when he does things. Yeah, imagine this dude like doing cool sword tricks to this music. That's what I thought when I heard it. I'm like, damn, it's perfect. This is a magician song. We never did figure out what that third option was. So one of the things they tell you in the book is if you can't figure out a third option easily, like your odd, because usually the odd one's the one you get stuck on, right? Because it's like, what's the weird thing out? They say just roll first. You're unlikely to get the odd most times. If you do get the odd, well, that's on you. You got to figure something out. And I'm like, you know what? That's fair. So let's go back to the Spooky Boys. And we'll figure out. Actually, let me pop you up to the Foundry. Oh, it's hard. It's hard streaming. Help. No, that's CSP. There you go. So we do our D6. Bing bang. Where's our boy at today? He's on the 6. You know he's bringing back groceries. Okay. So he's bringing back groceries. So we'll toss this out because we don't need any more. Six thugs. On his way back home with groceries. Saitama style. The Mooks are looking for payment for his mother's loan who had taken it out on his behalf to help cover expenses while he's out of work. Huh? Why'd you do that? Okay. So that will be our starting point. It will be... Let's roll a d12 and a d6. We'll figure out what time of day it is. Because, you know, maybe he's late at night. It's 7 a.m. Alright. Man is up at 7 a.m. getting groceries. Maybe. Sometimes rolling random gives you funny results. Or it doesn't necessarily have to be groceries. Maybe it's like, I don't know. Maybe his mom's sick and he's getting her like cough medicine or something early in the morning. $7 a.m. In keeping with my other solo, I'll try to keep it concurrent in case we have any like overlap, because I'm down to have Nightmare show up in here and do stuff. That would be fun and interesting. I don't know if this should be pre-fire. This should be post-fire, I think. Which means I really don't want him to show up yet. That would be weird. Hang on. Looking through my physical book here for the answer. When did we say that this was taking place? This was a September 26th. I left out the year because I don't really care what year it is. Modern year. So, this is September. Actually, let's make it October 1st for this. I think that's enough for me to think about. So it's early morning. I'm almost positive he's not. I mean, he wouldn't be in his super outfit, which, to be fair, his super outfit is like a leather jacket, and I haven't thought about what he wears on his lower body yet. Probably just jeans. Like, he probably just looks like a normie and puts the mask on. In fact, I feel almost like he might have a public identity, and we might take that as a disadvantage. But here's what's interesting. If he has a public identity as a disadvantage, then the thugs would know who he is, and they would know what he could do. So why would they attack him? Right? So you have to think about stuff like that too. That would make sense. Because let's be honest, a dude who has... I mean, unless they're not the loan sharks. It could be just random dudes on the street who's trying to mug him. But we'll mull that over and think about that. What makes the most sense. And we'll let the... Where's the mummy at? Which one are you? Are you the mummy? You're the mummy. Speed up, mummy. You gotta get moving. That's too fast. That's way too fast. Maybe just 100%? That's still really fast. Kind of love it though. We'll stick him at a solid 75. Alright, I think that's probably enough for now. I don't think I'm going to raid anybody or do anything like that. We definitely won't be playing tomorrow on the solo front because we'll be playing the group game. I don't know what day next week I'll probably pick this back up. I think once I get it started, I kind of want to do it like once a week. And I don't know what days it'll be. I'm honestly trying to think what would work best. I think maybe like a Wednesday. Because I feel like after I work out, I don't really feel like socializing and doing much else. So maybe it's a better day for streams. But we'll see. I don't know. One of them days. Or at least, when I say I don't feel like socializing, I mean I don't feel like socializing till nighttime. After the old chair nap. You know how it is. When you get to be my age, chair nap happens. And then you're good to go. We may leave that up to a random roll as to whether he's a public identity or not. Because I feel like with teal hair... Well, hold on. Maybe the hair changes when he activates his abilities. Maybe that's part of why people don't know who he is. But the outfit's so obvious, though. Anyway. Thanks for chilling. Hope you enjoyed hearing me prattle about some crazy stuff. And figuring this out. And I just hope you didn't get any sound clips whatsoever. I don't want to hear any. Unless they're really good. And I'll see y'all next week. Sweet. Stream's over. We made it. We made it, chat. How long was stream? 2.5 hours. Almost 2 hours and 40. Sick. See ya. Pew, 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 pew.